when you're creating something, understand that this is a very carefully calibrated process. So try and understand what the process is. The first thing that you have to do, regardless of what the fuck you're doing, is grabbing someone's collar. That's the absolutely first thing that you have to do. Think about when you consume content, whether it's a LinkedIn post that you read, be it Instagram reel or whatever, there is something there which immediately takes you by the collar and brings you close, right? That's the first thing. As a creator, this is also something that you have to work on, right? You have to learn how to grab someone's collar, the surprise element. That's the first thing. Once you grab someone's collar, you brought me close. I'm here now. Now you have to set up a problem. Right? Otherwise, you wasted my time. Correct? So you set up a problem. Once you set up that problem, educate me. No? Spend that time to educate me on what you're offering. When you've educated me, sell to me. Remember, commercial art, advertising, copywriting, sell. You have to sell to me. Once you sold to me, you build advocacy. Now, let's talk a little bit about advocacy. So here's a way to test if you know what advocacy is or not, right? If, for example, let's say someone is flying from Delhi to Bombay, right? What airline would you recommend to your friend? And if they said, look, I'm getting a few options, both of them are more or less the same price. I'm getting Indigo, I'm getting Vistara, I'm getting SpiceJet, I'm getting Air India, whatever. What do you think I should fly? What's your answer going to be?
Vistara. Either Indigo or Vistara, because they just take off.
Correct. Now, here's the question. Has Vistara or Indigo paid you to tell your friend about them?
No.
No, right? It's free publicity for them. It's free, like someone else is flying on your word account, right? So that is advocacy. You're advocating that brand to someone else. Correct? You're saying, hey, listen, I flew Vistara or I flew Indigo, and I reached on time, or the service was great, and you should try it out. Again, you have to understand that advocacy is not built in a day.
Right.
It's based on a lot of things. Right? How your experience with the brand has a huge role to play with that. The reason advocacy is here in this deck is because there is a way to cue in advocacy in the way you write. Anyway, let's come back here. Now, when you grab someone's collar, what is grabbing someone's collar? It's the headline, hook line, whatever. When you set up a problem, what are you doing? You're establishing a need for you to fit into the conversation. When you're educating, you're solving for that fit, right? And when you're selling, essentially what you're saying is, come on, buy me. Now buy me. And when you're building advocacy, you're saying, come on, recommend me. Now that you love me, recommend. Important thing to note is that not all communication has all of these steps. Some pieces of communication just have perhaps the first and the third. Some pieces just have the second and the fourth. But you'll notice that all of them have some pieces of this. So let's look at this ad. And now pinpoint the journey for me on this ad.
Star is the
Asterisk.
collar. Asterisk, yeah. Asterisk is the collar.
What is that? Okay. Very good. Now, remember when I spoke about copywriting has to do with copy, right? This asterisk is not copy. And yet, it's a headline. The lesson to take out from here is that sometimes it's not about words. Sometimes it's just about something else. It's an idea that you represent. Yeah? Okay. What's the second part in the journey?
Establishing the problem, where it
Where's
says that
that?
whenever you see the star, it always means bad news for you.
Correct. Absolutely. Hang on. Third.
But
A
with
promise.
the mini-lease, I think that is the educating part, where you're telling that this is not
Superb. My job here is done. I'm ending this traineeship. Next.
Then there is a promise where we are selling things.
Where's that? Here.
We promise for
Insurance. In which all insurance, maintenance, and checkups are included. Okay. What's the last bit? What was the last part of the journey?
advocacy.
Where is advocacy here?
Oh, it's the loyalty. In fact, a star deal, but without the name star.
We try harder.
No. Okay. So a bit of history. Avis was not the only brand in the market doing this, right? There were other brands. Avis was a new brand, but Avis was growing. So this tagline that you see, we're number two, we try harder. This was actually a large campaign that they were doing. It was called We're Number Two, so we try harder. What the campaign essentially said was that, we're not number one. If you're already on top, you don't really pay attention to your customers that much, right? But we're number two, so we have a point to prove. We'll be all the more careful with you. You can call us day or night, whatever, right? It's interesting because, communication has a huge sort of relationship with psychology. And the reason why this is so interesting is because humans are wired to sort of push the underdog, not the hero. Avis was the underdog in this relationship, right? So it's saying that we try harder because we're number two, which it meant that if we knew someone who was wanting a car lease, we would push for Avis and not the bigger player in the market. Very interesting case study.